Everybody, a little late today. I'm a little late, and as our friend Ambito points out, this doesn't feel like my typical stream. I'm usually on time, but you know what? A couple minutes late, it's not going to hurt anybody. Not going to hurt anybody. Hope you're doing well. Um, the stream starts now. It's about 7:20 on Monday night, February 26th. Got some good topics to talk about tonight. If it's your first time visiting, welcome. Cosmos Joe here, aka Cosmos DeFi on Twitter. Going to go over some crypto news. Going to take a deep dive, and that deep dive is going to be on Kwon's Extradition, what's going on with Terraform Labs, the whole UST aftermath. We'll talk about some trends to follow, but yeah, on this stream, talk about Bitcoin, talk about AI, we talk about altcoins like Ethereum, talk about NFTs, markets, all that, and tokens. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about tokens. I see Bushido Brown in the audience. What's up, man? I'm gonna bring the music down a little bit, but I do like the music. But yeah, headline tonight: Kwon extradited to the U.S. to face massive fraud charges. So we'll definitely talk about that. I got some information there. As I just kind of been interested lately, and we'll go over that. We'll talk about Bitboy. Man, Bitboy is just an undefeated one-man wrecking machine in the kickboxing circuit. I don't think anything can stop that guy. We'll talk about Atom. The Atom Treasury, looks like the Atom Treasury is going to be liquidated for stablecoins. We'll touch on that. We'll go into my leverage trading adventure, which might involve a liquidation. We'll see. And we got some news. Swiss is going to pop in, and over $100 million in VC money made its way into the crypto market. I see Ray Raspberry in the audience. What's up? Bushido Brown saying it's like crypto bum fights. Listen, I had no idea that was going to happen. I just turned on Twitter, and there it was right in my face. So it's like, how do I not talk about this, right? I mean, literally, how do I not? So, we'll let some people stroll in. We got a lot of people tonight. Is it because I was going to talk about Do Kwon, or we're going to talk about Bitboy? Or we're going to talk about VCs just slamming money into projects in crypto? Just let me finish. Let me get my bearings here. But we're going to zip through news. I'm not going to go too far into any news, but not financial advice. I don't vet the news sources. I just find stuff that I like, and I talk about it on the stream. My portfolio is my portfolio. You do what you want with yours. I was going to go into my hypothetical portfolio that I set up in December. I'm not going to. We'll save that for next time because we do have quite a bit of stuff. Maybe if there's time at the end, we'll go into that. I made a Cosmos adjacent portfolio. So Cosmos chains that are not really core Cosmos chains. But yeah, I want to shout out the chat. Happy you guys are here. Got a busy chat tonight. This is awesome. Ray Raspberry is asking, did you announce the space to the Lunk community? That's the Luna Classic community. I did message TFL and I said, hey, just want to let you know, I'm going to talk about this a little bit. And if you want to send me any of your side of the story, your press releases and announcements, I'll talk about that too. I'll be very neutral, but we'll get to it at the end. We'll do fun stuff first before we do the depressing stuff. I could take these off. I don't have a guest yet, right? If the music's too loud, let me know. I'll lower it just a tad. I think I made it louder. That's all right. I like the music. But yeah, I want to shout out sponsors. Shade Protocol, the Shade token's doing awesome. Kinetics Finance, that's the leverage platform that I played with the other day. They sponsor as well. V2 Perps, they have live. Airdrop is coming. I don't even know if they took the snapshot yet. Last I heard, they did not. So they'll have my one trade in the snapshot. Although I did play around with the liquidity pools at one point. But let's start. Let's start the fun. We'll start with the tokens that are moving. Let me get to my setup here. But yeah, these are only out of the top 100 tokens. We got Flare, Don't know what that is, but it's up 51%, killing it. Theta Network. I remember Coin Bureau doing content on Theta Network years ago. Like one of the first Coin Bureau videos that I watched, and then Uniswap. I don't like DEX tokens. I really don't like Uniswap token, but man, oh man, I am loaded with DEX tokens in my portfolio, my personal portfolio. I have a lot of DEX tokens. I shared my portfolio in my own Telegram, which you could join. It's in my Twitter profile. My Telegram's announcements only. I put a snapshot of my portfolio there, and there's like this category called other. It's like 15% of my portfolio. It's a lot of DeFi tokens that I normally would not have in there, but we have it now. The market calls for it, in my opinion. So, the graph. I bought the graph a couple months ago. Pretty happy with this. And Render, we did talk about Render on this stream a couple of times, and Fetch down here. So, in general, AI tokens doing well, but I don't see any in the top 3 unless Flare is one of them. But let's do the losers. Starknet still not registered with the price performance yet, but it's at $2. Dimension, of course, I have Dimension and Celestia in there in the losers. Modularity taking a back seat, I guess. I don't want to speculate, but maybe I should have sold my Dimension airdrop. And then ICP, Internet Computer, but I think that one did really well last week, so maybe it's a normal proportional pullback. Let me just fix something on my end here. So, like I said, we're going to talk about Do Kwon. Do Kwon coming to the USA. That's it. Not his first trip. Not his first trip. Not the first time he'll be under heavy scrutiny, let's say, in the USA. Ray's saying he did stake the graph. So I was on like this infrastructure kick, and I bought graph tokens, and I was looking at Render, and I was looking at, what was the other one I was looking at? It was some infrastructure. Oh, Chainlink. And I was going to do a video on all 3 of them. I scripted out the whole video. I never did the video. I bought the graph tokens around 13 cents, and then I bought it again at like 15. So it's doing well for me, but I didn't buy Render and I didn't buy Link. So I missed out on some upside there. Chainlink, I'm going to get into one way or another. I don't have any, but I'll get into Link. Link kind of front ran this whole market, and it's leveling out now, I guess you could say. February, my personal portfolio additions. I added to my AXV position last week. I don't think I'm going to add anymore. I'm just going to keep rolling rewards over. I'm farming it for 30%. That's AXV Astrovault. I'm going to have Eric on Spaces for an AMA soon. I got some content to share with you guys. That's what I got. And that's here. So I put out this. This is the stream from last week. It's about how Citigroup was tokenizing traditional assets, real world assets. But then I cut the video. Just that segment where I talk about this. This is definitely worth watching if you're interested in mass adoption in any way. You'll see what Citigroup is doing. They're using Avalanche subnets as their network of choice. So something to watch. JP Morgan about 2 months ago did a similar test, and they used Axelar, and I think they used Avalanche also. Not sure, but that video that I put out. It's like 11 minutes. I think it's worth watching. You could speed through it probably. Put out this liquid staking video on Stride. Had Stride on a Twitter space recently. I do not hold Stride or ST tokens, but it's a good tutorial for people that are new, that want to mess around with some leverage. And then I got this coming, Neutron. I'll continue to say it. Neutron's one of the most popular search results on YouTube right now. So I don't have Neutron tokens, but I'm interested in the apps building on Neutron. So that's what this video is about. That'll drop on Thursday. I might push it to Friday. Don't know yet, but end of the week, you'll have a nice Neutron video. Oh, and I was on Vanessa's Just Crypto last week. It was a live stream. It was tiring. It was like an hour. Technology Poet on Twitter. That was fun. as usual, I get cranky after like 40 minutes, and I just unloaded on like a whole bunch of Cosmos projects. Don't know if anyone saw that, but yeah, that's what I did. I basically, she showed me mint scan, and I went down the list of all the projects that shouldn't even exist. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. Just don't share it out there that much. All right. I'm gonna work off my script so we get through this quick. I want to talk about Do Kwon. I want to talk about Bitboy. Bitboy with those overhand rights. Good lord. Good lord. What's up next? Oh, this is a tweet that got a lot of attention. Don Kryptonium was making fun of someone or some entity that was playing with their language, saying they never invested in crypto tokens. They only centered around a trade. And he was basically saying, what's the difference? Did you buy the tokens or not? But that word investing, I know we talk about VCs actually investing in the crypto space. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't believe that you just buy shit coins off of DEX. I don't think you're an investor in the project. A lot of times the project is completely independent of the token. They just have the same name. So Lukashino, who we've talked about, he and I have talked about, we've talked about most tokens being shit coins, giving me pushback here. I don't know if he's just helping me beat the algorithm, but he says, why does an investment need to be stocks? I'm comparing investments to stocks because when you own a stock, you actually have an equity share in the company. Like you're entitled to profits, right? So he's saying you could invest in many things that aren't stocks, art, classic cars, metals, etc. But those are assets. Those are actually like, hard assets. Of course, it's very subjective when it comes to art and cars. But for gold, it's not that subjective. If you have gold, it's worth something. It doesn't matter. So, and then he shows me this chart, which like I think proves my point, because what you're seeing is like a profitable company after a bubble survived the bubble because they offer products and services that matter. And then they just hover in this range because they're one of the few dividend paying tech companies. Cisco. I think it proves my point. I think he's giving me crap, but I'm telling you, we talked about tokens and he told me he mostly holds ETH because it's the only token that's not a shitcoin that captures the value of the network. So I think he just helped me with Twitter. So I came up with a good analogy here. So this is an analogy using his classic car example for fungible tokens. And then we'll go to Bitcoin. Here's my analogy. Suppose I create a special windshield wiper out of thin air. It cost me nothing in materials and nothing in labor to create this windshield wiper. And I create 100 billion of them. But the problem is that the car that these windshield wipers are built for, it doesn't exist yet. So on my roadmap, at the end of my roadmap, I have to build this car so that my windshield wipers get used on these fancy windshield wipers. And they're so futuristic, no cars can use them now. So I got to convince the customers that one day there will be a car that fits these windshield wipers, but you got to buy the windshield wipers now. And also, it doesn't matter that all my competitors can make the same windshield wipers, even at higher quantity than I've made them, and they could sell it for the same price that I'm issuing it for in my ICO. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you that these windshield wipers are so amazing, you just have to wait for the car to come out. In the meantime, you could buy and sell the windshield wipers. And then the odds of me ever building that car is like below 1%. And the odds of it being special is even lower than that. So that was my analogy with windshield wipers and fungible tokens. Hopefully, my whole portfolio is fungible tokens. So hopefully it's not hurting anyone's feelings. And another one, I'm just trying to razz people up on Twitter. Twitter is just such a joke of a social media app. So I said, which token's going to outperform Osmo? The token, not the platform. No one's going to beat Osmo's volume. It's not happening. So, and they might collect a lot of fees, but for token performance, that's all this was about. And Shade, the secret network community is big. They hit every poll that I ever put. if I do anything related to Secret Network, like Shade is a is a DeFi token related to their Shade Swap DEX and some other apps. Shade community comes in like full force every time, commenting on stuff with their Anon PFPs, and Shade beats Astroport, which I'm surprised about, actually. I thought Astroport was going to win. Whale almost beat Astroport, and Whale's, is like a smaller, less known DEX token, although they'll say it's probably not only a DEX token, but these are DEX tokens for the most part, and all of the above. So I think all three of these have a good shot of outperforming Osmo from right now until the end of 2024. I told you guys I sold my Osmo tokens. I like Osmo, but I could use it for free. Why would I need Osmo tokens? I don't need the tokens to use the platform. I could do like $2 swaps and 100 times a day and barely need any Osmo. So anyway, there's my Twitter engagement. I'm just trying to get more followers. It sucks, but it actually matters. Let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Archive, just in Fidelity and Accenture, they hosted 100 bank executives in Paris to talk about how to, I guess, offer institutional products involving Bitcoin. And he says it's happening. What a wonderful AI generated graphic there. And then where's the one that I found today? Oh, here we go. This is interesting. This is from a couple hours ago. Just in, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF just broke 1 billion in trading volume. So I don't think it's going to be a surprise that there's so much interest in Bitcoin ETFs in 2024. What will be really shocking is if it surpasses gold in any way, either volume, market cap of the ETF, or market cap of the asset at any point. Probably not this cycle for Bitcoin. What is it, like 5 times smaller, 6 times smaller than gold? I can't remember. What's gold's market cap? Maybe someone could tell me. It's like between 10 and 15 trillion, something like that. Bitcoin's around like 1 trillion. So it's like 10 times smaller, something like that. But this is promising. Like there's tons of volume already. These brand new ETFs, they were delayed. They should have probably came out 5 years ago, but here, we'll take what we can get. AI. So AI tokens are just doing really well. Wherever you look, AI is just killing it. So BitTensor, we talked about on this, actually the top 3 we've talked about. These are by market cap. We've talked about these top 3 on this very stream. I think maybe the 3rd or 4th stream we talked about these. Then I released a separate video, an excerpt of just talking about these tokens, what they do, and what their teams are about. Akash, part of the Cosmos ecosystem. I'm still not sure if Akash is technically an AI token, but I think it's smart if any product has some integration with AI that they could at least add into the marketing. Like, why would you not? Like, can Jackal token just say they're an AI token? And I won't do these streams anymore, I promise. Just send Jackal to freaking AI heaven. Let's look at the volume and Fetch, another Cosmos coin, right? 271 million in volume. It's a lot. Let's look at 7 days. Don't know any of these, but I do. Oh, Jackal is listed as an AI token. That's interesting. So Jackal's doubled, and I was going to buy more, like around 40 something cents, 48 cents, something like that. But I already have a good amount. I bought it at 3. So I bought this AI shitcoin. I don't even know how long ago, maybe in like December. Around the time I was going to buy Render, but I didn't buy Render. I went with the shitcoin. It had like $1 million market cap. It's called Spectre, SPECTRE. Okay, they have a product. It's like a trading bot. Profits are supposedly going to this token holders. I don't believe that that's actually happening, but I bought it because it had a narrative and it had AI. Spectre AI was in the name. So I bought it. It was like 12 cents. Immediately, I lose 50%. Plus, I had to pay like 12% slippage. It was like really a shitcoin. But now it's doing well. It's up to like 40 cents or something. Let me see if I could find it. It might not even be on CoinGecko. I don't know how I found it, but it's doing well. But anything with AI in the name is going to get a little extra support from the market. Traders don't know any better. I mean, I don't. I bought this. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I bought it like 13 cents, but I paid a hefty fee. So it was like 12, 13 cents. I probably paid like a 15, 20% fee in slippage to get it. Plus my first transaction failed, so I don't even know what it cost me in ETH gas, but not bad. For like $500, now the position's worth $1,500. And I said, oh, if it triples, I'm going to sell it. No, I'm not selling it. It's AI. Look, fully diluted valuation after it basically did a 7x from the bottom is still only 4 million. You know what I say in the bull market? I should have bought more. I was in the Telegram talking to people. I said, hey, do you guys want to do a Twitter space? Like, what was I thinking? At $1 million market cap, there's a 5% fee to trade this thing on Uniswap. Unbelievable. But AI, I mean, my thesis was AI is going to get a big push. People are going to be less likely to sell AI tokens when they need money. So I went for it. Some Satoshi stuff going on. Supposedly, he predicted, they found some emails, they surfaced. I guess this is interesting for people. And it says he predicted crypto's contentious future and energy use. So newly released emails show Bitcoin inventor Satoshi Nakamoto predicted Bitcoin's energy use. I think it would still be less wasteful than the labor and resource intensive conventional banking activity or replace. Well, when I used to listen to Max Kaiser, he would also add the cost of the U.S. firing up his military every day. Add that to the cost of the banking system. Fair or not fair? I'm sure you can make a case. I think Bitcoin community has to do a better job putting this like energy FUD to rest. A lot of the energy that Bitcoin uses, especially in the Middle East, is from renewables. A lot of energy that it uses, even from fossil fuels, is energy that was going to be set to be wasted anyway. So, and these are 2009 emails. They were unveiled, a part of a legal battle to uncover the identity. And yeah, you could read this if you want. Listen, I always say I put the links down below. I'm not going to put all the links down below for you. I do it for me, so they're not there yet. I know no one looks at the links, but my sponsors' links are down below, actually. My referral code for Kinetics is down below. CryptoChem.io is down below. I'm about to bring them in to talk about VC activity. And my disclaimer's down below. Here we go. So Grayscale released a report claiming that Ethereum's price increase was driven by anticipation of this tech upgrade. Really? I was saying last week how tech upgrades are really not catalysts for me. I think Ethereum just probably looked cheap compared to everything else. But it says in a new report, the recent price performance reflects the market's anticipation of this Denkun upgrade coming next month. I mean, I feel like this is an example of just putting a narrative behind a price move, but Grayscale obviously has a vested interest in seeing ETH succeed because they want an ETH ETF. I think I said this last week. The Ethereum price activity is probably people front running an ETF. I think ETH will outperform. People will just think that automatically it's going to get an ETF. Don't know. But there are Grayscale funds involving ETH. There's a mixed digital asset fund that I have in my IRA. It's ETH, bunch of other stuff, right? ADA, I think Atom's in there. Chainlink, I forget what else. I think Solana's in there, but that's a trust, a little different than the ETF. And more Solana. People are just really happy with what Solana's done. I think they should be. Solana's token extensions, I think, are undersold. I think it's an absolute game changer. But this article is all about how Solana is just superior to Ethereum. superior to their layer twos. Even I haven't used Solana enough to know I don't love Ethereum's UI UX. I mean, I'm just familiar with MetaMask because I was the first Web3 wallet I ever used. There's like weird extra clicks in MetaMask, in my opinion. But um, another bullish article. We talked about all the articles being super bullish. Solana made a huge run. It's over $100. I bought 2 tokens by accident at 75, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have bought it. I should have waited for a pullback. Now it's over 100. Oh no. I guess I'll buy NFTs with it, or I'll trade it. I don't know. But the news is exceptionally bullish. There's no FUD except for my Twitter, really. Maybe Tank's live stream will have some FUD. Tank still has... Tank, if you're watching, I'm going to plug your show. IBC Gang on YouTube is probably the only channel that puts out as much FUD as I do. Most of my FUD goes on Twitter. His on YouTube, he's got limit orders for Bitcoin in the 11,000s. He's got limit orders for Atom under $1. He's got limit orders for ETH at like 450. So all the news is so bullish, man. Maybe it's good to listen to some fudders every once in a while so you don't do anything crazy. And I don't know what this was. Send Newts? Newt. Newt is a great meme coin on Neutron that I completely missed because I turned my socials off for 4 days. And then I came back. I'm like, what is this Newt stuff? And the guy that I talked to said, oh, it's great. It had a $15,000 market cap. I bought $50 and I sold it for 10 grand. So I missed out. I turned my Twitter off at the wrong time. Anyway, I think we're ready for Swiss. Swiss, I'll bring you in, but your camera's off. We'll turn off the music here. He's good. He's good to go. He's getting dressed. We'll bring him in and we'll talk about VC activity. To me, the VC activity is really important. You got to bring capital into the space. It's not all going to come from me and you.
Joe.
What's up, man? You're in Denver?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool, man. I might have to turn the video off. My Wi-Fi is a little spotty out here, out in the mountains.
Whatever you got to do. So you're at ETH Denver. Quick impression of Denver. You were there before, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, it's my first time. I don't usually hit these concerts, but I'm here for Astrovault, so we'll be making connections, partnerships. Yeah,
doing whatever you guys are doing. It's doing well so far. I onboarded somebody else today to AXV token, and I'm not shilling it. I got in cheap. People don't have to follow me, but yeah, one of my cousins is like a 21-year-old gunslinger that just got out of college that just likes to throw what little money he has at volatile tokens. So I helped him get his Leap wallet together, and he bought AXV and is farming it for the 30%. So
nice, great, yeah. Hopefully the experience was easy enough.
Easy. I did it through text messages. He didn't have any questions. He's like, done. He showed me a screenshot. I'm like, all right, let's talk again in 3 months, and that was it. So maybe you guys will come back. Maybe one of the next few appearances, you'll have a huge VC story like, hey, we were at a conference and someone bought 1% of the AXV supply for 25 million. That would be nice.
You're telling me. Yeah, that's the name of the game, man. But yeah, we'll have it'd be vested in everything to make sure the alignment's there. But yeah, we'll be having a lot of conversations, man. So
great
show so far. I was listening the whole time.
Yeah, we got good topics. We got the Do Kwon thing coming up. I got a little explaining to do with that, and I'm not, I'll be fair. And then the Bitboy thing to me was incredible.
Yeah, dude, a lot of personalities to talk about, man.
He rocked that guy. Anyway, I said in the beginning we had over 100 million VC money coming into crypto in 1 week. It sounds like things have ramped up even in the short time that we've been doing this.
Yeah. So the biggest round that we covered last week. So the digest went out late last night. Cryptochemistry.io. You can find the sign up link is right there. So the biggest round was Eigenlayer. I think that's how you say it.
Yep.
Which to me, I didn't cover it in the highlight because I think that there's enough smart people talking about that that I'm not going to have any unique take on it other than I think I don't really get it personally, and I'll be the first to admit it. It's
You're not
like,
the first person that said that to me, and the other person that said it to me is like a big developer in Cosmos. He's like, "I don't get it." I said, "Okay,
yeah, I
I'm
think
not even gonna try then."
they're really trying to monopolize. So A16Z did the round, which I they get vilified a lot, and I think what's happening is definitely trying to monopolize the Ethereum layer 2 restaking and all the different restake stuff. So I don't have a lot of commentary on that. It's not something I'm really interested in participating in, honestly. But that's why I covered instead the smallest round on the list, $1 million raise for a seed round, Silencio. Really
Oh yeah,
interesting. Yeah, so they built on the Peak network, which I'm not very familiar with.
how much was it?
1 million.
1 million. Okay, okay.
It's
Is
a
this like
dApp. It's a
deep
they're
in?
built on Peak. So Peak is like another layer one. It's layer zero. I think it's part of Polkadot, but
Oh, okay.
it links into Cosmos and Ethereum. So they have multi-chain elements to it. And this particular dApp, though, you can measure noise pollution on your phone and you earn tokens. So it measures the decibel level and you earn tokens as you measure it. So I literally just did it before the show. And if you record like 20 seconds is the minimum that you need to submit to start earning tokens.
And they're just trying to collect data via this protocol for something.
Yeah, it's for the noise. So I was kind of surprised at that because it's like, why? How valuable is this data, noise data? To me, it doesn't seem that valuable. But the two use cases that stuck out to me when I went through the docs were number one, real estate. So if you're moving into an apartment somewhere, it could be a useful data point. And number two,
Oh,
restaurants.
okay. That does make sense actually. That could be something they could literally add to Zillow, right? And it could be like it could be a fee to add that information to, more specific to the listing, I guess. I don't who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know how valuable that really is though. Like what's the right market cap for a token that or a project that lets you sell noise data?
It seems like it doesn't matter. They just happen to do this at the right time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So they did $1 million round. So it was Borderless Capital out of Miami led the round. They've also, I think, invested in Peak, and then Moonrock Capital as well. They participated, and Moonrock is in Germany. Silence.io is in Germany, and so there's that. And I think Moonrock is invested in Peak as well too. So they're really trying to build up this Peak ecosystem, which is very focused on DePIN projects.
yeah, yeah. Deep in is gonna catch a nice wave. I think it's like obviously restaking, right? I guess restaking,
Yeah,
but I think deep in AI modularity. If you could hit any of those narratives, whether you have a product or not, whether you have a serious project at all, you'll overachieve most likely at this time, at least for most of 2024, if I had to guess. So
I think so too. And so, I mean, this is the point for me of following a lot of these deals is finding these small projects like this because if you go use the app for 20 seconds, you're eligible for an airdrop. So, you know,
yeah,
look, where that goes, where it maybe doesn't do anything. To me, this is probably not going to be like a face melter, but
free
why not?
money.
Why not look at it? Yeah. And so, this one I didn't see anybody really talking about. Eigenlayer, everybody's talking about, and I just want to look at things that are a
I'm
little
gonna.
more hidden.
It's just called Silencio, the app, or is it called
Yeah,
something else?
yeah. If you
Silencio.net.
dot, it's actually in the link. If you scroll down,
Okay.
I don't know the URL offhand, but the link is at the bottom. It's kind of cool. One cool thing if you click on it is the map. So maybe bring that up.
Yeah,
The
let's see
public
that.
noise map, that was kind of cool. You can see all of the different hexes that people are contributing to the noise data.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it showing or no? No, of course it's not. Let me.
Nah.
I got to switch tabs here.
There you
There we
go.
go. So there we go.
Yeah,
So
so that means that somebody in all those dots has used it. They have over 100,000 people
I
using
guess
the
it's
app.
blocked in Russia.
It's just really quiet. It's just really quiet.
Yeah, not many people.
But I was checking out Denver because I just used it, and there were quite a few hexes.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
there's a lot of people in the U.S. using this.
Wow. I guess I'm late to the party. So yellow is bad, I guess.
I think as it gets more red, yeah, from green, yellow, orange, red, I'm assuming it
All
gets
right.
louder. But literally, like here's the thing though, dude. I was using it inside of the office, so like I don't know how you differentiate indoor versus outdoor. They're gonna have to have something for that because like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, this is pretty cool though because you stay on top of this stuff. You're learning about it basically pre-token. But they actually have something, right? Like you said, it's gonna be hard to actually value this, but if you could play around with this, you're selling some data, you're giving some data to them in anticipation of an airdrop. This kind of reminds me of almost like when Coinbase would pay you to answer questions about a new crypto that you didn't know about. It takes like a minute of your time and you never know. It was like Orchid and like all these other ones that who knows, but I ended up getting like $5-6 from each one. And
Yeah, and you learn. So for me, the big takeaway is learning about Peak because I didn't know anything about that before. And
yeah.
it's an entire ecosystem of DeepIn projects. So now I know
Wow. Okay.
new things to look at. Yeah. So I mean, you never know. And this one, I don't know what the FDV was for these guys that invested in this thing. So whatever it is, the token's probably going to launch at a higher one whenever it does launch.
Yeah.
So it could be worth like if you do it like they've gamified it. So if you do streaks like every day you do it, the longer your streak, I think the more tokens you get out of it.
Oh god,
So
my dad is going to be worth so much money because I I walk I walk over a mile to and from work through like New York City streets. Like they're going to get like a whole spread of you know, I'll have my steps going and I'll have my noise meter going. So yeah, I'm
there we
downloading it
go.
now. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. We'll get it. Guys, you're in the chat right now. It's like 14 people. It's actually a lot for a Monday night. If you download this, hopefully it doesn't contaminate your phone, but you're giving data that someone
Well,
cares about. It
you
sounds
you
like.
push the button, so it doesn't give the noise data like always. You click it when you want to do it. So literally, I
Okay.
did it for 20 seconds just to get the minimum, and then be eligible for an airdrop. So
And here they tell you why they want the data. So pretty cool. No, I like getting your newsletter. I see it like every Monday morning. Bing, I see it. I get to scroll through it, and this is actually these little tiny baby projects are good to get out ahead of, because you really never know what the actual valuation is going to be. You're going to get some free tokens for doing almost nothing. Maybe someone doesn't like downloading apps. That's different. But I'll do it tomorrow, and I guess I'll tweet about it. Maybe they'll come on Spaces.
maybe they'll sponsor you
Yeah,
or the newsletter.
even better.
All right,
All right,
man. Well, I got to get going to Denver, man. I'm out
good.
here. Got
Have fun.
deals to cut. So
Have fun. Everyone in the chat just waiting for my commentary on the Bitboy fight.
yeah.
But
All
yep,
right, man.
good talking to you.
You too. See you next week.
All right. All right. Swiss from cryptochemistry.io. He sends a weekly newsletter. I think it's worth signing up for it. It's definitely not spam, I'll tell you that. All right, you guys are in the chat. I'll let you tell me where you want to go next. I've got the Bitboy thing queued up. I've got the Do Kwon thing queued up. So I really don't care what we do first. I'll leave it up to the chat, actually. I'll leave it up to the chat. Let's see. Let's see. I'll put the chat in here. So we can go Do Kwon or we can go Bitboy. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. Where's Do Kwon? We can get into that. We can get into that. So we got more people in the chat now because I'm going to talk about Do Kwon. People love Do Kwon. People love Bitboy too, but Do Kwon. All right, Aru says Do Kwon. How about this? The first person that gets like 4 votes will go to that first, but I got it queued up. Where's Do Kwon? Is he going to get locked up? Oh, he is. I think Ray Raspberry's here just for the Do Kwon talk. If I had to guess. I'm curious if you guys actually held Terra at any time. You probably held the UST at some point if you're in crypto, but like Luna tokens, now Luna Classic tokens, because I did not. I had 5 of them when the DPEG happened. I got out like unscathed from the Luna crash, other than the entire market collapsing down on me. I got away pretty scot-free. Let's go to Do Kwon. We'll end with Bitboy. It's fun. I'll do some commentary because I think Bitboy's fight was actually pretty impressive. Like I wanted to make fun of him, but I couldn't. He's freaking lights out. I would not fight that guy. After watching the first round, I was like, oh man, he's trouble. If he's in a bar and you try to kick him out and he don't want to leave, he's trouble. We'll go to Do Kwon by popular request. I appreciate the chat helping me out because I don't have a producer. This is not Dark Side of the Paddlecast where he's got like green screen and like all the producer and sound effects. I don't have that. Yeah, Bushido Brown. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. That man's arc. He's had like 2 arcs that we could talk about. Let's go to Do Kwon because Do Kwon is. We'll get to the serious part. This is the deep dive of the show. Let's get rid of the chat. We'll bring in Do Kwon, and we could all relive some memories. Here he is. So here's Do Kwon, right? Do Kwon was the man behind Terraform Labs, the man behind UST. Actually, let's preface this. This will be the deep dive that I excerpt from this video. I'll release it like the end of the week of just the few minutes we're talking about this. If I miss anything, I'm trying to get Terraform Labs to come on my YouTube for an interview. And I don't want to kick anyone when they're down, but Do Kwon, good Lord, man, he's only like 26, 27 years old, and he's being accused of like a $50 billion fraud. But this will be the deep dive. Do Kwon, creator of the UST algorithmic stablecoin, Terraform Labs. Luna UST was an absolute powerhouse. But I really want to talk about the SEC, the charges, and their press release. I read that the SEC press release, it's like hard to read if you're a real crypto person because they really paint with a broad brush. So the press release looks a lot like propaganda. The charges probably won't look quite like the press release. The press release that the SEC put out, we'll look at. They're just putting people on notice, it looks like. Oh, Ray's saying Doe is 32. I thought he was younger. Sorry, Ray is maybe Doe's cousin or something. So here's Do Kwon, right? And we pretty much know the drill, right? Let's give like a fair recap of where we're at in crypto. 2022. In 2022, the algorithmic stablecoin UST depegged, and it was just a death spiral. At that time, most of the Cosmos ecosystem was relying on UST as their stablecoin of choice. Terra, the Luna token, had a massive market cap, I think like $40 billion, something like that. I don't know what the market cap was of UST at the time, but I think it was the third biggest market cap for a stablecoin. In Cosmos, which has most tokens only traded on DEXs, they were paired with UST or were paired with Osmo token, which was primarily paired with UST. It was just like a vacuum. Just all the liquidity came out of Cosmos and Terra. So this is a CoinDesk article. It's not recent. It's from December 2022. This is around the time Do Kwon was apprehended. He was on the run. He said he wasn't on the run. He was on the run. I do not have a timeline of everything that happened. You could read this if you want, but some of the things that Do Kwon's accused of and Terraform Labs is accused of, man, it's like they're just in big trouble in the United States. But I have a video here, like maybe he'd be in bigger trouble if he went to Korea, because in Korea, they say that this is the biggest financial fraud ever. So he gets apprehended in Montenegro, which is by Serbia, which is where he had another company that he was using to cash out funds from, allegedly. He also set up a new company there. And I guess he was also using Bitcoin ATMs there while he's on the run, right? So a lot of the customers and investors, I guess we'll call them investors in Luna, they lost everything, but obviously he still had some funds. And he got caught, I guess, on a private airstrip and trying to make his way to, I don't know, Dubai, Singapore, one of those places. Here's Do Kwon on Twitter. So if you're watching this for the first time, I don't even know how to explain this, really. So Do Kwon's PFP is my face. I don't know him. I had no involvement with Terra. I was too stupid to understand Anchor Protocol, so I didn't have any money in Anchor Protocol, which is where a lot of this unraveling happened. There were lockups there. People got wiped out while UST was depegging. So, and if you're from the SEC, I have no affiliation with him at all. This is like a meme that is now stuck because he's in custody. He can't change his PFP. He got caught like a week or two after he put this up. It's a joke, right? I don't know anything about Terra, really. I'm actually surprised they're still around. But if you're from the SEC, I don't know him. He doesn't know me. He's making fun of me. He probably doesn't know I'm a real person, put it that way. So I'm keeping my PFP that until he changes his. But the reason why I'm covering this is because it hit me like last week that this might be up forever. He might get 40, 50 years in prison. Christ. But listen, if you're from the SEC, I know that there's pictures in the SEC report. My name's not in the SEC report. I had 5 Luna tokens at the time of the depeg, and I think I sold them on the way down at like $70. I did have a whole bunch of UST, but it was not bonded. I sent it to Kraken. I sold it for about 94 cents on the dollar, something like that. So Swiss never knew. Swiss, you didn't know that? But again, if you're from the SEC, my name is Joe, not Doe, and I drink water, I moisturize, and I mind my fucking business. I have nothing to do with Terraform Labs. I'm just talking about it because it's pretty interesting news that he got extradited. So let's get to this. That's the best I could explain this. It's a meme. So, what else I want to talk about? Okay, the SEC. So this is really tough to read if you're in crypto, like really in the know. So I don't know exactly what happened with the Ripple case, but I know the SEC didn't look that bright when they were trying to put the screws to Ripple. right? So some of the language in here makes me think not much has changed. Yeah, I'm internet famous and I'm SEC report famous for no reason. So let's get all these graphics off the screen. This is the press release. These are not the charges, but there's some things in here that are like the language again is like, oh my God, we haven't really come that far, right? So it says orchestrating a multi-billion dollar crypto asset securities fraud involving an algorithmic stablecoin. So the language they're using makes it seem like, and this is directed at Terraform Labs and Do Kwon. They're making it sound like they started this from the start as a fraud. That's the language they're using. Like in poker, you would call it like running a bluff from scratch. Like you don't even get dealt your cards, but you're like, I'm gonna bluff this hand, no matter what happens, right? No matter what you get, no matter what the action is. That's what I think of when I hear this language. Also, what is a crypto asset securities? For well, crypto. What is it? Yeah, the language is strange. So it involves the algorithmic stablecoin and other assets, and not just Luna, right? They're throwing everything at this guy. So they're saying the SEC is saying that from April 2018 until May 2022, that's 4 years, they were orchestrating this fraud. That's what they're alleging. That's what the press release is saying they're alleging, right? So these included these M assets. So these are mirror assets that were meant to algorithmically track US stocks. And then a crypto asset security referred to as, so they're throwing this word security into everything, I guess. Crypto asset security referred to as an algorithmic stablecoin that supposedly maintained its peg to the US dollar by being interchangeable for Luna. I don't know exactly how the peg worked. And you could, if you're from Terra, this is so painful for you, and you're going to say, oh, but it got attacked. It would have worked. It was designed to work forever. No, that's just not how it is. If it doesn't stay pegged, it's not a stable coin. So this is what they're saying, that Terraform Labs and Do Kwon marketed the asset securities. I don't know what an asset security is. Why don't they say marketed crypto tokens? Marketed crypto asset securities to investors seeking to earn profit. So they're hitting the language that's in the Howey test, right? That's what it looks like here. Howey test determines if something's a security or not. Obviously, they're going to say this is a security. If you're marketing it, saying that it's an investment and it's an investable product, and you're going to gain from this if it does well, you're a security, whether you think you are or not. And repeatedly claiming that these tokens would increase in value. I never really got involved in Terraform Labs. I knew Terra existed. I never really used the blockchain other than to off ramp my Luna, because I bought my Luna in Cosmos. I think I sent it to Terra so it was on the right blockchain so I could sell it on Kraken. I think that's what I did, because when the UST DPEG happened, the bridges were down. You couldn't get stuff through Cosmos after a certain point. So asset securities, I don't know what those are. And Ray's saying, obviously it didn't work. You are astute, Mr. Raspberry, if that is your real name. All right. So again, there's not much more to this. I'm just dissecting it because the language to me was like very amateurish, but probably on purpose, right? So now's the part of the press release where all these guys pat each other on the back for allowing a fraud. They're calling it a fraud. They allowed the fraud to happen for 4 years, and they didn't do anything until everybody went broke. It's kind of like what they did with Bernie Madoff, right? Let me see if I can fit this. There we go. So yeah, here's the part where they pat each other on the back. I commend the SEC's hardworking staff who remain vigilant, Listen, you don't need a government agency to investigate a fraud after it completely collapses and everyone goes broke. You could have like two people with nothing better to do than look at a block explorer. But they're going to commend the SEC's hardworking staff. Congratulations. You figured out the fraud after $50 billion was gone. Even when the defendants, so now they're talking about Terraform Labs again, even when the defendants attempted to prevent us from obtaining important information about their business. I have a video showing that a prosecutor from South Korea feels that there's most of the evidence actually exists in Korea and they wanted him extradited to South Korea. Ray, what do you mean? What do you think gave it away to them? I missed. I don't know what that's referring to. If you could elaborate. Today's action not only holds the defendants accountable for their roles in Terra's collapse, devastated retail, institutional investors, all that sent shockwaves through crypto markets. Yeah. I wish I could read this in like the movie previews voice. Here we go. It's always the government's mission to show that crypto is not decentralized. As alleged in our complaint, the Terraform ecosystem was neither decentralized nor financed. It was simply a fraud propped up by a so-called algorithmic stablecoin, the price of which was controlled by the defendants, not any code. This is the part where I'm reading it and I'm like, there's no way they're going to allege this in the actual trial. There's no way they're going to allege this in the actual trial unless they have a lot of evidence for this. This is part of the press release. This is to get people like, because this is going to take place in New York, Southern District Court. They're that this is the place where all these financial crimes, they happen. The trials happen. It's what Jeffrey Epstein was, right? Trump's $450 million fraud that he has to pay restitution for. It's a Southern District in New York, and they use the word crypto asset securities. They use the language of the Howey test, and now they say that this was a fraud from the start. Like this was planned to collapse. The price was controlled by the defendants. So they're saying that the defendants intentionally depegged the stable coin. I would be surprised if this is part of the trial. This is just a press release because you got to get the public on your side. Public wants blood when they see a rich guy rip people off. The public wants blood. I mean, it's a strategy, I think. My opinion. Ray saying, what do you think was the evidence that made the SEC realize it was a fraud? Well, for me, there has to be intent. I don't know what the law says. I'm not a lawyer. But to be a fraud, you're deceiving someone on purpose to get money out of them. I don't know if this was a fraud so much as just a bad designed and a short-lived stablecoin. That would be like me looking at it with the glass half full, being a crypto person. Algorithmic stablecoin, right? But if you look at who benefited from this, obviously it's Tether and Circle, right? So Gary Gensler is saying, not decentralized. Well, Circle and Tether aren't either. They benefit directly from this. So are we going to look at every stablecoin? And Circle basically operates like a bank right now. It's actually strange. But so Sailboy saying, I'll never get the design of this. It seemed designed to fail. But what the SEC is saying in the press release is that it was on purpose. They don't say intentional, but they say they set this fraud up from 2018. Just because a lot of people lose money, is that fraud? I don't know. I don't know the language in the law. Maybe I should have looked at it before the live stream went live. But why would they intentionally depeg their own product only to have to go on the run after? And by the way, for me, I'm not saying that they did the right thing and that UST was great and it got attacked. It was trash. It was absolute trash, obviously. It was like a house of cards. What I find amazing with Terra, Luna, UST, Do Kwon, Terraform Labs, what I find amazing is that they still have money after this. So there's another article. Let's find it. Where is it? It's in here. They say that Terraform Labs still has up to $500 million in assets. However, they have roughly the same amount in liabilities. So what's Terraform Labs doing? Terraform Labs filing for bankruptcy protection. It basically allows them to just kind of not get harassed while they're restructuring. I guess they're going to try to offset the liabilities with the assets. I guess their employees still get paid. They're the infrastructure company for the new Terra blockchain, Terra 2. I can't believe they kept the same name. It would be like if, Bernie Madoff's son took over from him and just kept the business and the fund name the same, right? And just put a 2 at the end of it. So you posted a link. I can't see the link that you posted. You posted it on the comment section, I'm guessing. There is the way explain how the destabilized USD. I don't even care how it destabilized. What happened was it did stabilize. And since people lost money, the authorities who allowed the thing they called a fraud to exist for over 4 years, they're going to reverse engineer the fraud so they could prosecute as like as it being an intentional, a con scam. In the end, one thing you learn from Luna is that you don't have enough buyers if a lot of people want to sell at the same time. There's not enough liquidity. At peak bull market, you could sell it, tons of it. But look what happened after this depeg. Look at all the other tokens. The altcoins got absolutely murdered. Even Bitcoin lost like 60%, right? Something like that, 70%. There's not enough liquidity for this stuff to happen. There's just not. One community pool spend can tank a token, at least temporarily. And I bypassed a tweet about Atom. Man, we got to get to that at the end. They're gonna liquidate their community pool. It's not going to be good for short-term price action. Here's the part that I agree with Ray Raspberry. Market interests who had incentive or interest in sinking the boat added so much water to the boat they overwhelmed the buckets. Yes, whoever was a part of this, they didn't help by shorting Luna, shorting Bitcoin. Smart people shorted the stablecoin, right? If they could. And there were billions of dollars made in the shorting of this market. Totally agree. But that's just a trade. That's not an attack on the protocol. If the protocol went down that easily, it was probably going to fail anyway. Like eventually, like demand would run out for Luna, and then what? How long could the stablecoin have stayed pegged if Luna wasn't going up? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But long story short, Terraform Labs, it says in this article between 100 and 500 billion. Where are these assets? What are they denominated in? They're not denominated in Luna Classic or UST. They must have been holding a bunch of cash, a bunch of Bitcoin. I don't know. Is it protocol owned liquidity? Like, is it all in one wallet? Is that why they don't know the exact amount? I don't know. It's something to watch. And I want to get Terraform Labs on my channel before I make too many assumptions. So, I mean, they must have had stable coins. There's no way you could preserve wealth without stable coins in a market condition like that. So people in the chat are saying a ton of BTC, USDC, ETH, okay, and bank accounts. All right. Well, I know that, I don't want to get too far into this without having like tons more info. But again, this extradition to the United States is super interesting. And we're going to watch like a piece of a video from prosecutor in South Korea. And the prosecutor, they talk about two scenarios. Does he get extradited to South Korea? Does he get extradited to the United States? The prosecutor in South Korea says he needs to come to South Korea because the evidence is here and we've already prosecuted co-conspirators here successfully. This is the biggest fraud in South Korean history. He needs to get prosecuted in South Korea. Long story short, he goes to the United States. I could see two scenarios. If this is a serious trial and not like what this press release is about, he is never going to see the light of day if I had to guess. That's it. So, anyway, let me get this video up. We'll watch like not even a minute of it, and then we'll get to the fun stuff, the Bitboy fighting people. And I'm definitely going to have the audio on this. So here we go. Let's bring this in. Let's get me down here. There I am. And here we go.
But many of the investors say that they prefer Do Kwon to be sent to the U.S. for the trial because South Korea has very lenient sentencing. What do you think about that?
It is expected to be the longest sentence ever handed down in South Korea. And as you said earlier, if the sentence in South Korea is not enough, he can be sent to the U.S. and face another trial there and serve additional sentence.
So like this is not going to go well. He's got to like dodge two bullets here, right? Let's just listen to a little bit more. And hopefully in the chat, just let me know in the chat if you should be able to hear the audio.
In February, SEC said they were looking for the 10,000 Bitcoin that Do Kwon was carrying around behind his pocket in a USB stick or so on. Do you know where this cold wallet?
Look how uncomfortable she is bringing this up. I guess she's referring to the wallet that they found on Do Kwon in his, after a rectal cavity search. They found this ledger or treasure.
Kwon was carrying around behind his pocket in a USB stick or so on. Do you know where this cold wallet is right now?
We can see that it's coming out of the wallet, but we are not aware who might be in possession of the cold wallet or how they're withdrawing it, on what methods.
How is the...
All right, so this is not a new video, but they're referring to a wallet that I guess Do Kwon had like 10,000 Bitcoin to his name. Somebody's using that wallet. And this is like, 8 months ago, whatever. This is when South Korea is trying to get him extradited to their country so that this guy or someone like him can prosecute. So long story short, Ripple got away with, whatever they were being accused of. SEC seemed incompetent in, putting the screws to Ripple. Is the same thing going to happen here with Do Kwon? There's like actual losses to investors. He went on the run into hiding. He got caught with fake, documents, falsifying documents. They have, I'm sure, tons of on-chain activity that they could show that maybe he was, enriching himself off of this fraud after he knew that it was not going to last. Then it's a fraud, obviously. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'll hopefully get Terraform Labs on here and hear their side of it. I'm sure it's fascinating because they're still operating as an infrastructure company with tons of money, apparently. They're supposed to be supporting the new Terra chain. I don't know how they can do that with all this going on, but we'll let them come on and I'll get that out to you when it's going to happen. All right, so let's go to the light stuff. Ooh, good question here, actually. Do you think the ass sats will qualify as rare sats on the ordinals markets? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. This inscription was up Do Kwon's ass. It's worth so much more. Just think about how that would go down if you're trying to, negotiate a trade or something. So we'll end with we'll end with Bitboy, and then we'll get into the Atom community pool. There's a lot of people on right now. So the Atom community pool is going to be liquidated for stable coins. We'll talk about that. And well, first of all, it has to go up to governance vote, but we'll talk about that. And we'll go to the Bitboy thing. No sound. We're just gonna show him just hammering his opponent with overhand rights like it's his job. I just gotta find where I have it, guys. I think it's here. I got a million tabs open. I gotta make sure I share the right one. That is not the right one. But anyway, didn't you guys see? You guys see that fight? I've seen my fair share of UFC fights, and first when I was watching, I thought it was a UFC fight. I really did. I was disappointed that it wasn't, because I like to see like the ground game and all that. But oh my god, it was kickboxing, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't remember that many kicks being thrown, but a lot of haymakers got thrown. My goodness. Where is? Here we go. So we're gonna watch the YouTube video, but obviously we're not gonna watch the whole thing. And who's the next fight, really? Right? Like who's the next fight? Ain't gonna be me. Tank could probably take him, right? So let's just see. Let's just see how this goes. All right. So, man, oh man, why is that not showing up? There we go. So here comes Bitboy. So here's my take on this. First of all, we're looking at part of like a massive redemption arc. I'm going to fast forward. He's ready for this fight. He definitely trained for this fight. I knew right away he trained for this fight. I used to watch UFC. You could tell by the balance and like the distance they are away from the other fighter. You could tell he trained for this. He has a lot of aggression to take out. Obviously, the guy ruined his life basically twice. His family's gone. He's losing all kinds of money. He's showing up at his business partner's house with guns and then saying he's paranoid. It's like, well, you're at someone else's house with a gun, and then the cops come and it's on video. You're with the woman you're having an affair with. Man, oh man. And here's his opponent, More Light. I think More Light looks like a fighter. So I'm like, oh, Bitboy, there's no way. He's going to get gassed like right away. And of course, this is not cooperating. I have to go to a worse quality here. Here he is. So we're only going to watch the beginning. Look at Hashgraph is the sponsor. This is crazy. This is so crazy to me. Ref is like, all right, guys, like, make it somewhat interesting. Oh, why is this doing this? So here, I think this other guy is a favorite right now. The other guy's a favorite. Bitboy gets knocked down after throwing two weird, I don't know what that was. But look at this. I think Tank could take both these dudes from a seated position. Once Bitboy, no, not here. There, those punches to the head, like close range like that, I'm like, all right, maybe he's gotten to a few fights before. He gets up, squares back. I'm like, you know what? He looks like he trains for this. He goes for a kick, thinks better of it, catches some knuckles to the face here. More Light actually looks like, this is why I still thought it was UFC. I'm like, oh, it's MMA. More Light looks like he's going to take him to the ground. But Bitboy throws. Yeah, see, here, I'm not convinced. The ref is doing more than Bitboy right now. But as I'm watching this, you could see Bitboy has so much lower body strength. Like he's got like the chubby guy strength, like the heavy set guy with the powerful legs. Like he could probably just like pick up furniture by himself. As I'm watching this and watching him absolutely unload these right hands, I was like, if he connects with this, he's going to blast this guy's teeth out. He's going to absolutely blast this guy's teeth out. See, look here. Oh my God. Like he is going, this is like he's acting like this is the last round of his life. And he has a lot of rage pent up. I don't know what those punches are supposed to do. Bitboy looks at the clock. He's getting gassed. This is I didn't think he was going to win. That's it. So he survives the first round, does throw a couple punches at the end. But like, let's go a little more into it. He doesn't look really that much more gassed now than he does in the first round. He's looking, I don't know where he's looking to his corner or looking at the clock, how much time is left. If I was Bitboy, I would never throw a jab. Look at that. Clocks him. Now he's taunting. I don't think you should be taunting in your first fight. Yeah, you can't grab. You can't grab. All right. Bitboy would be even more deadly in a street fight for sure. I just want to see if you could catch these overhand rights. Like, oh my God. Like, usually when you hit someone, it like might throw you off balance a little bit. Bitboy, when he connects, it like helps his balance. He's hitting this guy so hard. So hard. Look, this is MMA. Bitboy would have threw him down. Anyway. Way more entertaining than a pillow fight. Way more entertaining than a pillow fight. Way more entertaining. I don't know if you guys, I watched that. I couldn't believe it. I watched it like 3 times. I was like, how is this happening? How is this happening? Let's go to, let's put some music on as we watch the, get to some Cosmos news. Yeah, so with the Bitboy fight, he was angry, but he was just composed enough. Like he was throwing as hard as he could. Like he was trying to break bones with those punches. He was still composed enough to where you could see like he trained. He trained. And if he was a little more emotional, he would have been like flailing, like those punches would have been flailing, and he probably would have got done up by, short punches by the other guy if the other guy knew what he was doing. But I would not fight Bitboy. Someone put like, who here thinks they could beat Bitboy? I've said I definitely can't beat him in a fight, but I would not be getting hit with those right hands. Like you can't just stand there and take those punches. If he connected with a few of those, he's lucky he didn't break cheekbones, orbital bones, teeth. Forget the mouthpiece. You can knock someone's teeth out. So let's look at Cosmos. You guys can tell me what you think. I personally don't know what to think yet because obviously it has to go on chain. But we're going to talk about Cosmos Community Pool getting liquidated for stable coins. Is it a good idea? It's from Youssef. So Youssef is part of the Atom Accelerator DAO. They give grants. They got like $10 million treasury, and I think it's mostly an Atom. But this is a breakdown of what the Cosmos Hub has in its war chest. Let's get some music. I know what you guys want here. Let's do this epic music. It says epic, so it must be epic. Yep. So, and the speech from Youssef from the Atom Accelerator DAO. Got a breakdown here of just the war chest. 132 million, 37 million just in Atom. 20 million in protocol-owned liquidity. The DAO sitting on about 11 million, it says, and then Neutron, 64 million. See, I would discount the Neutron token because the liquidity is just not there to actually sell it. So what he's saying is, and you have to look for this to go on chain, right? If you're an Atom staker, this directly applies to you. It says the only issue, not a single dollar in stablecoins. It's going to be critical to diversify into stables as a meaningful portion in anticipation of the bear market. Well, hopefully, someone said that happens with the audio. But anyway, I'm back. So he's saying we need more stablecoins for the next bear market. I hope he doesn't know something that I don't. I hope we're not that close to the bear market. I'm having fun watching my portfolio go up every day. But he says a 3 to 5x from there by the peak of the bull market would mean a treasury of 400 to 650 million, not taking into account accumulated inflation, right? It would be a shame if we can't secure at least, he's looking at like a quarter of that in stables. I kind of agree. The hub, here's what's strange. It says the hub doesn't have to perform this cycle to stay in the game, but it does have to secure a solid treasury post-bull market to continue. So long story short, we're going to have some governance proposals about liquidating these assets. My assumption would be they're going to liquidate the Neutron tokens first. I would hold at them. I would liquidate a set amount, and I said this in the thread. I said I would liquidate a set amount, make it transparent every single day, small amount of the Neutron, convert Neutron into a stable coin of your choice or a bunch of stable coins, whatever that amount is. Like it says here 64 million. So like, what if you did $1,000 an hour for the next year? What would that even add up to? I don't even do the math, but like a small amount like that, $1,000 an hour, maybe that's not a small amount to you. Maybe it's not a small amount for the Neutron token, but Neutron's going to be a little volatile, right? It's a medium cap token. My buddy Swiss here is saying it's a prudent move. It is a prudent move. Is now the time to think about it? I mean, I wouldn't start doing this till after the halvening. But maybe you think about it now. You say, okay, on May 1st, we're going to start this DCA out of Neutron. I don't think you get out of Atom first. So, I don't know. I'm an Atom staker. Would this send a bad message if we start liquidating the Atom first? Probably, right? Why would I want to stay in Atom if the protocol itself is getting out of Atom? You know? But that's my take there. I don't even want to jump to conclusions. I have a lot of my Atom liquid. Let me see what I said exactly, if I can even find it. No, these are the unrelated tweets. But yeah, I think if you're an Atom staker, I'll keep you informed on this. This is a good trend to watch. Are there any other significantly diversified community pools? I don't know. Terraform Labs sure did diversify. They still have money after a UST DPEG. I would love to have that kind of foresight. But I think other protocols around Cosmos, they should be diversifying only because their tokens are super volatile, and as it goes up, they could be swapping into something less volatile. I'm not saying they should hold bridged assets in the community pool. I don't think that's a great idea. But other protocols, like let's say Jackal, right? Jackal's super volatile. It's only going up, but it's volatile. What if programmatically a little bit gets swapped into Atom and stablecoins every time it does like a 10% day? And yeah, you're right. Public companies do issue more stock when the stock's doing well. GameStop did that, and they built a massive, massive war chest of cash, right? Didn't GameStop issue a whole bunch of stock during that period of volatility, and they buy it back when the stock is undervalued? But yeah, I think it would spook some people, maybe. I think it would spook some people. I have like maybe a third of my Atom liquid, but what you were saying before is you know you're supposed to buy back when it's undervalued, sell when it's overvalued. This should be programmed in. I don't think a DAO should do this. The validator set is a DAO. Vote on a really small DCA out of Neutron and Atom. This is my suggestion. This is not what I'm saying they're going to do. A very small amount from, let's say, for Q3 only. Put an expiration date on it. Time limit to these props is crucial because then you could rethink, put up a better proposal. The trend with on-chain governance is that proposal just stays forever and you have to make a new proposal to cancel it. No. You put a time limit on the prop. So like, let's say my $1,000 an hour, or let's call it $100, $500 an hour, whatever we decide on as voters, it gets done programmatically. No DAO doing this. No, that centralizes the whole thing. Yeah, Swiss is saying, otherwise DAO leaders start to play as if they're hedge fund managers. No, we don't want that because they're not hedge fund managers. If they were hedge fund managers, they wouldn't be in Web3. And we should have did this last time. But yeah, let's say the goal is to sell 5% of our Atom and 10% of our Neutron during Q3, evenly publicly, so people can front run it if they want. Or maybe on green days only, you sell into some stable coins, something like that, right? Like for Atom, it's a large cap, I would say, right? It's like 3-4 billion market cap, going up like 2% or 3% in a day. It's like a decent move. Maybe if that happens, programmatically you sell a little bit more than what the hourly DCA is. Again, I don't think they should sell any Atom. I think you could spook the market. I think for Neutron, it's going to be volatile. There'll be days where Neutron goes up 8, 9, 10%. If Neutron goes up 10% in a day and a little bit gets sold and knocks that 10% down to 9%, is anyone really going to care? I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, you could even go by moving average, right? I don't think there's a good comparison for Atom. I don't think DOT is a good comparison for Atom. I just don't think so. Atom is a strange one. You got to look at it a certain way. But anyway, I don't want to talk about this forever. I don't really participate much in governance. I think the validators will do what they do. Validators in general are not good money managers because they didn't diversify last time, but they were diversifying their own portfolios, I'm sure. Right? I'm sure most validators were selling some profits. So those when price gets above a certain percent moving average, sell some amount. Maybe you'd have to put something where you buy if it's below the moving average by a certain amount. Like in other words, if the moving average is such a way, it makes sense to convert Neutron directly into Atom instead of Neutron into a stablecoin. That would be cool. I don't want it to be too complicated though, so that people can't vote on it. However, if this happens and the validators vote for it, the validators should be responsible. If there's a DAO, the DAO should be responsible for this, for better or for worse. There needs to be accountability if you're going to screw with the community treasury. With ADA DAO, they could do whatever they want with their treasury, right? That is a DAO treasury. I'm saying the community pool and the protocol on liquidity, they should be responsible for that. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for the stream. We talked about trends a while back about crime, fraud, and all that. I think talking about Terraform Labs, we kind of see that the phrasing that the SEC is going to use, at least in the United States, the authorities are going to use in the United States, it's going to help them to prosecute, but also tarnish the public image of these entities and these individuals so that it's easier to pass regulation when it finally comes specific to crypto. Right? We talked about different frauds and thefts and exploits in the past. So as a trend for 2024, because in 2025, there's probably going to be comprehensive regulations laid out. I think now Gary Gensler's job is just to run interference so that institutions can catch up to retail. Institutions fell behind retail. Retail is like got to the assets first, and now institutions have to play catch up. I think Gary Gensler's job is to help them catch up. And then I think in 2025, we're going to get massive regulations that are designed for crypto. Not saying that this should happen, but I think that's what we're going to have. I think 2024 is just going to be like all out madness, bull run, super volatile. Some tokens will go to zero. Some tokens will go to freaking heaven. Some tokens will go to hell. But watch the trend of crime, fraud, exploits, and the language used by the American authorities versus the crypto press. I think you'll see the crypto press will be a little more objective. The SEC will not be. They're setting groundwork for massive regulations. And Ray's saying after the regulations, there'll be very few tokens. I think there'll be a lot of tokens. I think there'll be very few wallets, very few exchanges. Have a great one. Everybody have a great week. Got some content rolling out this week. Got a big Twitter space with Source Protocol on Wednesday. I see there's like a few of you guys left. Thanks for sticking with me. It's a long one. I guess Monday nights will work for some people, and I'll continue to do it. Just, have fun out there. Don't get wrecked. Don't fall for the overly bullish sentiment. And cheers. Have fun.